Good evening. It's 6 p.m. We'll call to order the May 5th, 2026 meeting of the Auburn Common Council. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation or reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move on to roll call. Councilman Fincham.
Here.
Councilman Braun.
Here.
Councilman Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman DeWitt.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Councilman Bundy. Here. Councilwoman Prosser.
Here.
Council, in front of you, you have the meeting minutes from the April 21st regular meeting.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to approve the minutes. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Recognition of visitors. I'm going to highlight Emerson, Brooklyn, and Ada, and the remainder, if you've signed in, just know you'll be entered into the official meeting minutes. We'll move on to communications. We're going to begin with pink out proclamations, or those, if you'd like to come forward. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Big crowd.
We can get up. But, oh well. You guys have to get up there too for the picture. We'll design them. Mm-hmm. I am.
So, welcome. Whereas 1 in every 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. The exact cause of the disease is unknown, and at this time, there is no cure. However, cancer found in early stages has a 98% cure rate. And whereas the mission of DeKalb County Pink Out is to raise awareness in the community, educate about early detection, and save lives. With heightened community awareness and early detection through screening, DeKalb County residents will have a greater chance of survival. And whereas the Center for Disease Control reports that only 65% of women over the age of 40 have received a breast cancer screening within the past 2 years. And whereas the American Cancer Society reports that in 2023, an estimated 5,810 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in Indiana. Breast cancer ranks second as a cause of death in women, and whereas DeKalb County has a higher breast cancer incidence rate than the state of Indiana, according to the most recent Indiana Cancer Consortium edition of the Indiana Cancer Facts and Figures. Whereas women who have regular mammograms are more likely to have breast cancer found early, are less likely to need aggressive treatments, and are more likely to be cured. According to the Indiana Cancer Control Plan, overall cancer screening rates are lower among Indiana populations compared with U.S. populations. And whereas DeKalb County Pink Out has partnered with Parkview DeKalb, Cameron Hospital, Lutheran Hospital, Francine's Friends Mobile Mammography, and St. Martin's Healthcare Clinic to increase cancer screenings in Northeast Indiana for the purpose of reducing breast cancer deaths through early detection. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the representatives of DeKalb County do hereby recognize the month of May 2026 as Pink Out Month and ask all citizens to join this worthwhile cause to educate and promote breast cancer screenings. Congratulations. Who is holding this? Are you the president?
No.
Okay, well, Sarah, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to let these fine gentlemen step up here. Sure. I think we can all fit in.
Where's your picture?
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's the way I was like, I'll make you tacos at my house, but you have to come get a picture first. Yeah, of course. It always is. It's a revolving door.
I've got
Yeah.
a frame for that in my house.
Oh, yeah, you have to go to Texas Roadhouse.
I have a frame for that. She said they're going to frame it. So remind me of that.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the council? Anyone in the public that would like to address the council? Hearing none, we'll move on. Clerk Treasurer.
Good evening. I have the current vouchers for $3,613,730.50.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. Any questions or discussion? I would just like to note we have neutered or spayed 15 felines this past month. So there's been a partnership with the Animal Care Clinic. So you may have seen that on the docket, but just wanted to share that information. If there's no other questions or discussion, I'll call for a question. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. I also have March bank reconciliation is complete and out on the website for your review. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2026, a resolution authorizing the use of opioid settlement funds for approved opioid remediation purposes. Summary. This resolution of the Common Council of the City of Auburn authorizes the use of opioid settlement funds for approved opioid remediation purposes. I move that we pass Resolution 4-2026 on first and final reading. Sorry,
I second it.
resolution.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass resolution 4-2026 on first and final reading. Any questions or discussion?
Yes, please. I'm definitely supportive of this 100%, but I did want to ask a few questions on the procedures and things that we're doing. So we're using, it's kind of lumped all together with all the different resolutions and ordinances and stuff. So there's more money we're spending. We're using $32,000, and we have more money than that in the funds. So my curiosity is, how does this roll over next year? Other than I know we would allocate in the budget for this money, but there's no timeline in these resolutions or anything stating that they're for a year, 2 years, or forever. So I guess that's my first question.
Yeah, so you're correct. There are additional funds. As of the last distribution, we were at about 79,000 for the unrestricted portion. And then, yes, we do have the 32,000 here between the three. City attorney, I will defer to him on that, but we have to do a resolution for each time we distribute these funds. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they're unrestricted, but the council has to approve where they're going
Each
time.
expenditure.
we do that.
So we
Okay.
will do that again next year.
Yeah, the goal would be to, as we're going through the budget season here this summer, determine if we'd like to distribute some more and include them in the budget for 2027.
Okay, that's just kind of the procedures that, run through my head and where we're going with this next year. So I did see that we're using unrestricted money, $76,246 and change that we have now. Well, we have $188,000 in restricted. So what's the difference rules for restricted and unrestricted?
The restricted funds are pooled county-wide to address a larger, a bigger initiative. They also have restrictions. These are a little more loose for the unrestricted funds. The other thing we have to do is, I think we're doing this on the 19th at Board of Works, is we will have to have agreements with these organizations as well to stipulate the reporting requirements back to the city, because they are governed by State Board of Accounts. So we do have guidelines to meet, and they'll have to sign an agreement to ensure that they meet those. The countywide funds will be pulled together. We actually have begun some conversations. We haven't real in depth. We got a meeting set up. I do not recall the date here in the near future, but those will be pulled countywide. And yeah, I think we had a little over 188,000 there. Counties should be larger than that. And then obviously have Garrett, Butler, and some of these small towns that have very minimum amounts if they did receive them. So
this is the first money we're spending out of both of these funds, which is good.
Correct.
I'm all for this. I just was wondering how it all
yeah.
pan out next year and what's going on.
The restricted funds, so we obviously our unrestricted funds, we want to ensure remain inside the city. So that's why we chose these three organizations. The Heart and House is working on a facility expansion for some transitional housing. That is a qualifying project for the restricted funds. So during our conversations in the near future, that is one thing that I may recommend, because they're looking at doing at least 3 duplexes in the first phase. It will not cover, or the community center is not an approved project, but the housing would be. And they're looking at $2 to $2.5 million price tag. So that may be one that I think I'm going to suggest to the JRAC committee, who is the one that approves the spending of the restricted funds countywide.
Okay, I definitely approve of the 3 areas and approve of the putting the money towards these projects.
Mhm.
So thank you for that information.
Sure. Yeah, and this first one is for the DeKalb County Drug Treatment Court Foundation Incorporated program. And is there any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 5-2026, a resolution authorizing the use of opioid settlement funds for approved opioid remediation purposes. Summary: this resolution of the Common Council of the City of Auburn authorizes the use of opioid settlement funds and approved opioid remediation purposes. I move that we pass Resolution 5-2026 on first and only reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass Resolution 5-2026 on first and final reading. Any questions or discussion? I'll just note this one is for the DeKalb Community Impact Corporation, or doing business as Heart and House. If there's no other questions or discussion, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 6-2026, a resolution authorizing the use of opioid settlement funds for approved opioid remediation purposes. Summary: this resolution of the Common Council of the City of Auburn authorizes the use of opioid settlement funds for approved opioid remediation purposes. I move that we pass Resolution 6-2026 on first and only reading.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to pass Resolution 6-26 on first and final reading. Any questions or discussion? I would like to just note this one is for the Serenity House. They have the location on South Main. If there's no other questions or discussion, I'll call for a question. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion.
Ordinance number 2026-14, an ordinance for the additional appropriation of funds. Summary, an ordinance appropriating monies into certain accounts for the 2026 budget of various funds and departments of the city of Auburn, reducing the unappropriated and unobligated balance of particular fund involved as required to meet the obligation for the remainder of 2026. I move that we pass ordinance number 2026-14 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to pass ordinance 2026-14 on first reading. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 7-2026, a resolution adopting the 2026 Downtown Auburn Revitalization Plan. Summary, this resolution adopting the 2026 Downtown Auburn Revitalization Plan. The 2026 plan replaces the 2018 Downtown Revitalization Plan. I move that we pass Resolution 7-2026 on first and only reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to pass Resolution 7-2026 on first and final reading. Any questions or discussion?
I'd just like to add my 2 cents on the possibilities of establishing some downtown restroom, with a trailer system or something here while we're trying to figure out where to locate those. And I think it's an important part of the downtown activities. We have restrooms at all the big parks and some of the medium parks. And yet we have a big area downtown of activities and no public restrooms. So I'm just throwing that in there as my 2 cents worth.
Any other questions, comments, discussion by the council? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Welcome.
Moving on to reports under mayor. We do have a Mayor's Youth Council is doing a game night out at Memorial Park on Friday, June 5th from 6:30 to 9:30. They'll have games and such for all ages. The snow cone truck will be out there and some other food items, I believe, but should be a good time. So if you're able to make it out. And then the American Legion's Post 97 Memorial Day ceremony will take place on Memorial Day at the corner of 9th and South Main at 11 a.m. Council President,
No report.
Plan Commission.
Yeah, the agenda has not been dropped into the public file sharing yet for next week's meeting. We will be having a meeting. The only thing that's in there as of right now that I can see is the fortified field house, which is out by the high school. So there's going to be some renovations done with that. But Jim, is there anything else on the? That's all that's on the agenda.
Yeah, thanks. Committees.
Nothing in tax phase in.
Nothing for ordinance and resolution.
Finance committee met 2 weeks ago. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yes.
Okay. Two weeks ago. Okay, great. Everybody got a copy in their emails. It's all on the YouTube channel as well for your review. We meet again on July 22nd. I also sent you guys the AIM report about the MUS. So that kind of goes a little deeper than what we did in the finance committee meeting as well.
Okay. Is there any unfinished business to come before the council?
Mayor, I just wanted to clarify, Councilwoman Prosser had asked a question about the OUCC at the last council meeting. And I just wanted to clear up. So what was said at the last council meeting is technically correct. The OUCC has statutory authority to get involved in matters that are not pertaining to the IURC. They can represent ratepayers, consumers, and public in suits and with regard to rates. However, the reality is their budget and their, call it their depth, means they likely would not be a great resource or something to rely on. So as we get out of the if we are successful in opting out of the IURC, the decision is going to be made by council as far as what the rates will be. So as for the ratepayers, their resources are, the Auburn Electric, talking to Auburn Electric about their rates and questions they have about them and issues they may have. And then it's petitioning their council members for those same things. If they have issues, if they have questions, as you all will be the ones ultimately making that decision.
Thank you.
And I have received several questions as well on the letters that were sent, and I keep referring people to get to the YouTube channel and view the town halls again. So again, make sure if anybody out there listening on YouTube right now, get on and look at the town hall meetings. It'll go through a good explanation.
Yeah, Councilwoman Prosser had some as well. And yeah, that is a statutory requirement, giving them the 30-day notice for the public hearing and kind of breaking down the highlights from that meeting. So yeah, thank you for fielding those questions. But yeah, it was disappointing that we had 14 people in 2 meetings there, unfortunately. But it's there in the archives and they can access it. So any other unfinished business? New business? General good and welfare of the community? Next regular council meeting is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 at 6 p.m.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.